Oh, really? Did she do anything out of scene?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
Pilot? What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick TV shows is they make one show. That show's called a pilot. Then they show that one show to the people who pick shows. And on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get chosen and become television programs. Some don't. Become nothing. She started one of the ones that became nothing.
Welcome to Couch Pilots. All of you are my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is the man who has impossible shoes to fill. It's Captain Philip Ressisher. Good evening. I love you.
Good evening. I love you as well. Hey, it's great to be here, flying again on a gorgeous evening. Plenty of flies. Oh, shit.
We talked about flies last episode. Don't do that.
Damn.
Hey, what size shoe are you? I have an idea in my head of what I think it is.
10 and a half, 11 or something like that.
Really? Okay, that's where I am. I would have guessed 12 for you.
Oh,
you have
yeah.
small. You know what they say about guys with small feet?
Yep.
What? I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, they fit in socks better. I need a nose guard for this thing. I always get my nostril hooked in one of these little posts here. It's not good.
You think how many episodes of a podcast do you think you've recorded? I bet it's been 700, 800 episodes right by now.
Oh, all together? Yeah.
And you don't know how to fucking talk into the microphone?
I never really worried about it. It was more about the content.
Yeah,
I didn't worry about all the techno marjo garjo.
You're the most.
Why does he have the ones going up and none of these?
Your microphone.
He wants him to go in his nose.
It seems like you're an audio masochist, right?
It's like I'm the Hannibal Lecter of podcasts. Watch. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Is that just where you hide your mouth?
Clarice. No, you remember he had the mask?
Yeah.
Clarice.
Man,
Push the cord, Clarice. You will enjoy this.
I used to date this lady, and she had a roommate, and the roommate she would date guys like way older than her, or just like she almost had like a menagerie of guys that she would date. And one guy was a deaf guy. All right, he was a deaf guy.
Oh,
you got it? Okay. And deaf guys, they can speak, but they don't know what their voice sounds like.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, someone communicated to this deaf guy that he sounded like a Hannibal Lecter. So the deaf guy, who you never would think to speak, or when he did, it sounded odd because he's not used to speaking. He would cover his mouth so he couldn't see it, and he would shift his eyes back and forth, and he would say, "Hello, Clarice."
Oh my god!
Which is fairly
Creepy.
disturbing coming from a deaf guy.
Creepy.
And he would revel in the fact that he was able to do this, and it was entertaining.
Yeah.
but he had never heard
That's his
that
party trick.
He'd never heard Dennis
And he didn't
Hopper,
know
or not
what it
Dennis
sounded,
Hopper,
yeah.
but what's his name?
Anthony
do that?
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins do that.
Yeah, I don't think that he had.
Somebody coached him in that.
But it is interesting. How do you think people, Amanda? We'll welcome Amanda in just a moment. How do you think people who are deaf, who cannot hear, are able to construct words like that? Is it purely vibrations, or what is it?
I think that's it's a lot of speech therapy, and they're teaching you how to do your tongue.
That's it. They're teaching you.
Hey, you're not supposed to be on here yet.
Tongue and teeth placement. Yeah,
Oh.
it is. Yeah, and how the air moves through your mouth. I think
I try to teach women
like
that for years.
Yeah, it's.
Well, that's for a different reason.
Yeah.
Oh,
Having to do with your
I'm
shoe
deaf,
size.
but my dick right.
Good Lord, that is not how we do the show usually. All right, let's go ahead and get her in here. Why don't you introduce her, please?
She's back again, folks. The lovely, the talented, always in a good mood, always looking beautiful. Amazing person, and whenever she's on, I seriously enjoy this for sure. Amanda, welcome back to the show.
Hey, the token girl. That's my job.
Hey, it's better to be in token something else, right?
Bring a little bit of feminine energy.
But you have a good vibe. You have. Would you not agree that you?
That I have a good vibe? Of course, I have a good vibe.
Right.
Duh.
That's what. Yeah.
Brian always says I'm nothing but humble.
Well, hopefully
You're just eating that humble pie all day long.
Yes.
You do bring an element of positivity. And someone said, "Who are you having on the show?" I said, "Amanda's on. She's an excellent laugher."
Yes.
Yes, I should. I should get paid for that. I should ask for some sort of payment. But I guess you guys do offer to buy me drinks. So
We did offer it, and then you denied.
you know,
I got this
sadness.
one from another co-host I work with. His name is Hoover Boss.
Yeah.
And it says, Fishback and Stevenson present Jay and Silent Bob Cherry Kush. It's a cider. And
I would totally drink. Oh my gosh.
it's yours. Take it. I do
Listen.
not. I had it.
Are you kidding?
I do not like it.
You don't like it?
Take it home with you, whatever
Oh
you
my
want.
gosh, yes. I'm going to take that home and drink that.
It is, if you like ciders, awesome.
ciders,
to me, it
yeah.
is so sweet.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm sure it
Unbelievably
is.
sweet.
I'm sure it is.
And
But
also those
it's
guys
so
are-
fun.
Yeah.
That
kinda
is
funny.
super fun.
Yeah,
I love that.
and if you really like it, I'll give you my other one that you left over, and then you can put that on your shelf and never open it.
right? So cute. Brian is going to be jelly.
Good. Make him jealous. That's the only reason you're here. Other reason, you had we were talking last week about Challenge, the podcast
Oh,
that
yes.
you do, and you had mentioned that has it been taken off of MTV now, and it is solely on CBS, or is it solely on Paramount Plus, or how does all that work?
So it's kind of a new amalgamation of, I'm not sure where it's, I don't know if we'll ever get anything back on MTV or not. I think we will get a season of the old school challengers back on MTV again, but I'm not for positive. But as of currently, kind of the setup is they are taking what was always historically an MTV show and a competitive reality series, basically, where they have to compete in kind of super extreme kind of athletic things and puzzles and things like that. Kind of like Survivor's little pieces, but on a bigger scale. And then compete to kind of make it to a final and win money. But it used to be on MTV with Real World and Road Rules people, and now it's transitioning. They've been adding Big Brother. CBS kind of bought, and at the MTV group, or they're all part of the same Brian.
It's
TV. God
all
bless him.
Paramount and Viacom that own all that
that's
shit.
it. That's the one. Viacom
yeah.
that owns kind of the big bubble. So once they started doing that, they started bringing Big Brother people and Survivor people onto the MTV's challenge, and this is kind of the next step phase. So just like you have Big Brother Canada and Big Brother other countries, they're going to do this with the challenge. So the challenge, the one that's going to air on CBS starting soon, is going to be the U.S. Challenge. So this is the Challenge U.S.
This to help Blake understand
Yeah.
this. This is like when Iron Man showed up in the Thor movie. All right?
I have
It
no
is
fucking
kind of.
idea. No, I get what she's saying.
yeah.
What you said made no sense to me.
This is when the Hulk he showed up in Ragnarok. You remember that?
No.
You don't watch any of the
I've never seen.
superheroes.
No.
I knew that he hates it. He calls it nerd stuff, but yet he's
Love
interested
it.
in D&D for some reason.
I know. I'm not interested. I'm interested to watch you play D&D.
I do it completely naked. So if you want, I mean,
Oh,
if you
wow.
want, if you want to watch that, it's up to you.
That's
then.
fine. I don't care.
all right.
It's something I ain't
Sounds
never
like
seen.
something that'd be way up his alley.
I'm glad you said Allie. So is it going to be on CBS proper, or will it just be on CBS's streaming service?
Yes. So this one, this Challenge US is going to air on CBS proper in the States.
That's a big deal for that, right?
Yes, it'll be on prime time, I think, just like Big Brother. And that, well, it's going to be running in tandem with Big Brother because Big Brother is going to start here soon, too. So,
One feeds the other.
yeah,
see
they're
this?
feeder shows. But then, so they're going to be doing these in other countries all at the same time. And then supposedly then there's going to be some kind of giant show where it brings the kind of competitors from all of the different countries together into kind of one big universal show, which we're kind of speculating, like, will we get the other country shows on Paramount Plus so that you can kind of meet these people so that when they do cross over into kind of an all together one that you'll know, or will we not? So,
Well, your show, the podcast Challenged, which covers each episode as it comes out.
Yeah.
Where does that podcast's reach end? Will you be covering all these different things as they are available to you guys?
So as of right now, we have decided to cover, if they do another season of the regular show on MTV, we will always cover those. That's kind of the standard. They've started a All-Stars season that releases on Paramount Plus, and they're on...
But you guys do that too, right?
Yes, they're on the third season of that, and we do that. And then we're going to do the Challenge US. And then... I think we've agreed to do if they do some kind of combined, but I don't think that unless they're readily available and, the fans are asking for it, I don't think we'll do the other countries unless they're very easy to get to.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think this is Challenge
This is now,
Cinematic Television
It
Universe.
sounds like there's a lot of nooks and crannies and a lot of interwoven pieces of yarn.
Yeah, it's real interesting to see how this is gonna go. I think that the challenge has done really well for Viacom, and
It had to go over to CBS, to jump from a cable channel to CBS. How do you see this affecting your podcast? I know you just went through the things that you'll be watching, but do you think the ratings, the listenership is going to increase with this exposure?
So I think initially it's going to be hard because the Challenge US is not going to have any of the old MTV people that basically our fan base is used to watching
coming
to know and love. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting. Our All-Star seasons haven't done as well as our mainstream seasons. And I think a lot of the success with the mainstream seasons is kind of that carryover of characters and knowing their past history and kind of seeing their overarching stories. I'm not sure. It's either going to open us up to an entire different, group of listeners, and kind of put us in a different spot, or the show's not going to do well and there won't be...
It's a lot of question marks.
Yeah,
A lot of things
so it is.
Blake, you ever watch MTV The Challenge?
I think the only time I watched it is when that one time we were on an episode and we had to watch it.
You came over and watched it with us.
I don't have MTV or anything.
One of the famous guys from the show, his name is TC, right? Isn't he the big guy?
TJ.
It's TJ?
It's TJ Lavin.
No, it's not.
Yes, the host is TJ
No, not
Lavin.
the host. Who's the guy? T what?
That's CT.
Oh, CT. I said
Lord
TC.
have mercy. Oh my goodness.
I've seen 3 episodes and they've all been with you guys.
But TJ is going to be the crossover. So the host, old BMX star TJ Lavin, he has been the host for the challenge.
He's so hot he could have been an LFO. Am I right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is that kind. Yeah.
Blake. Like a grace.
But he is going to host. He's supposedly going to host all these other shows. So, we're interested to see if he can kind of carry that premise and bring the show, or if he will be enough to carry the show, or if you really need these other challengers that have done it from.
Well, good luck to you with this new venture. It sounds like the doors are being blown off on the challenge. You guys are kind of having to
getting interesting.
Wade your way through some of this new wreckage and see what comes from it.
Yeah.
But when doing all this is a lot. Wow, how did your husband have to find time to go on a date with Jason?
Listen, it's because I left. I ran out of town.
Left? You left Brian, huh?
I was out of town.
Oh no, you're out. Okay, out of town.
Amanda contacted me. She said, "Hey, please take my husband.
Take my husband, okay?
Take my husband, please." And we did. We went to go see a movie together, and he actually put it out to you too, Blake. Because I know you were busy that night. Brian had said, "The Thing," John Carpenter's movie, The Thing from 1982, is back in the theaters. The 40-year anniversary. Who would like to go with me? And he put out to you and me and Tim. And I said, I'll go to it.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, and it was only a couple of years ago, honestly. It was late to the game on the thing. It had so much hype behind it. Mm-hmm. I really did like it when I saw it. So I was like, yeah, I'll go see it in the theater.
Yeah.
It's a good flick. You ever seen The Thing?
It's so good.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's one of my faves.
Yeah.
It's very psychological, you know what I mean? And I think that, too, especially now in a post-pandemic world, it makes you look at it a little different, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, and kind of that, like, looking at you and not knowing if you have something that can kill me, you know? Like
a pocket knife.
It's very...
Okay. Oh, no, you mean like a virus. But it's like a sci-fi kind of whodunit thriller kind of thing. And it's done with practical effects. And if you want a cherry, just to gently put on the very top there. Oh my God, that cherry's name is Kurt Russell.
Oh, of course.
What
Kurt's in it?
Dreamy. Oh, his hair in this,
He's
too.
so hot he could have been an LFO.
Oh, man.
I've got 3 more of those for
Okay,
the show. So
I got you. Well, so you guys went to a movie together. How was that? I mean,
I bought him his ticket.
Oh,
And-
isn't that cute? He
and,
didn't tell me
well-
anything about your date. I tried to ask, but he didn't share.
He didn't
so.
share. Well, did he tell you
He
what he
said
had
it
to
was
do?
fun. That was
did he
all.
tell you what he didn't do?
What he had to do to get that ticket paid for? Yeah. No, but we had to drive like 40 minutes to Bloomington. So I said, you drove. The gas isn't cheap. Let me at least pay for your ticket. So we did that. And then you got a big old bucket of popcorn.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
got some pretzels. And it's a good flick. It was cool to see on the
Yeah,
big screen.
had you been to that movie theater before?
I actually had not. There's no reason for me to go to Bloomington ever.
we really like that movie theater. They do a lot of retro reruns.
Yes, you did mention that.
And they do independent movies sometimes that don't get released in the theater around here. So yeah, we really like that little theater over there.
That's cool. But
Yeah.
Blake, what's the last movie you saw in the theater?
Gee, Christmas. We were talking about this the other day, me and somebody else. And I honestly, I can't even remember the last
cannot
time I was at
recall.
a movie. I seriously can't.
But you don't see a lot of movies in general.
I don't see a lot of movies. I definitely don't go to the movie theater very often.
Yeah.
Is there any movie that it's come out recently, even within the past year or so, that you're like, I want to see that
I've been
movie?
hankering to see it.
No.
He doesn't give a shit.
No.
It's just not
Doesn't
on your
care
radar.
about movies.
It's not a movie guy.
I'm just not a movie guy.
It's part of it because it's hard to sit still in a movie theater that long.
No, it's strictly for the fact that people can't behave in a movie theater.
Yeah.
I remember the last movie that like I remember when I went and saw Walk the Line. I was very excited to see it, and then these ladies just talked whole fucking. Every time I go to the movie theater, there are people
That's
that
what
are
hits
fucking
you.
annoying me, and it bothers
It
me.
does happen, yeah.
Yeah.
unfortunate.
I don't like movies anyway. And now I am going and people are disrupting what little pleasure I'm trying to get out of
Yeah.
it. So I just assume stay home and watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's too bad. Do you feel like you've been robbed of
No.
that? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't. No.
Where
I managed a movie theater for like
Oh, that's
3
true.
years.
Yeah, you have
and
to
so
peek in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Well, is there what else? Like, if you had that time to go to a theater, but how do you spend that time otherwise? Like, what is something that your recreational dollar goes into?
Bowling?
Yeah, I haven't bowled in almost 2 months.
What? Bowling? Drinking.
Well, it's off. It's not bowling season. You're probably not wrong. It's not bowling season right now, but I was for sure that you were going to pick up something or fill in for people like every week and just jump
I
in.
just don't even have time to do anything.
Okay.
I have so much stuff going on. I don't
Summer
have time to do
leagues.
anything.
If you had the time, would you be doing that?
What?
Bowling?
No. Oh, go bowling. Yes.
Yeah. But it wouldn't
Right.
be. You wouldn't be going to the movie theater.
No.
No.
That would be a last resort. The movie that would have to be like a Hank Williams documentary or something like that nobody else in the United States would want to watch.
It's probably a movie that would just be direct to streaming that you could watch in the
Yeah,
courtesy
yes,
of your own
yeah,
home.
yeah,
maybe
Okay,
so.
I see.
I mean, I watch a lot of true crime and serial killer documentaries and stuff,
sure.
and so
yeah,
they-
those just aren't.
yeah.
Yeah, those just aren't.
So
theater
I will
shows.
say I do watch TV, but they're mostly documentaries and like
I mean,
a lot of stand up. I'm currently yesterday I went through all of the Mulaney stand up.
He's got 3.
Oh, are you going?
I went through all because I'm going.
Are you?
so,
I was gonna
yeah.
say, are you going when you come?
So he's got New in Town, right? The something kid, the comeback kid,
Comeback Kid,
and then a third one.
yeah, I forget what it was. Yeah.
He's coming to Peoria, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
We'll get to see
That was-
John Mulaney.
That was
Yeah,
that
are
was
you
my
going too?
I
father's.
think so. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My Father's Day present.
Yeah. Brian wasn't like, oh, I want to go. So I mean, usually that when he says like, oh, this is happening, I'll buy.
And to
his
be honest with
tickets.
you, when you mentioned going to the movies, like I have seen 3 stand-up comedians in the past year. This will be the third. Like,
Burt Kreischer.
and then Nate Bargatze,
Yeah.
and then John Mulaney, and like I don't think I'd ever been to a stand-up show like at the Civic Center before this. Like it was
Yeah.
3 in a row.
I've seen a few over
Yeah.
there. You been over there to see a stand-up?
At the Civic Center, no. We usually go to like the local comedy club.
Yeah.
Next to that place that you burned down.
Yes, next to the place that we
strip
burnt
club,
to
that's
the
right.
ground.
I've been to. I seen Bill Cosby live before he had come out that he had drugged a bunch of ladies.
Yeah.
I saw Bill Cosby. He was great. I saw Jerry Seinfeld there. I've seen Jim Gaffigan over there, and
Yeah.
Bill Maher. Saw him.
And you saw
The theater is nice. I think that there's not a bad seat in the theater.
I agree.
I've been to several things in the there, but never a stand-up comedian or anything. But yeah, I don't think there's a bad seat in the house, and for a stand-up, it would be probably a pretty good.
Didn't you saw a jerk off guy there too, right?
I think I know sometimes he goes by jerk off guy, but I think on his birth certificate it says Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I saw him and Bill Cosby, both one more than the other, but problematic
Right.
folks.
Yes.
But yeah, I've seen Louis C.K. twice in the theater. Both.
Did you have any
killer
interest
seats.
in going to see Bill Burr? I didn't. He was in town. I didn't.
No. Was it already in it? Gone?
I'm not sure. I think it was already.
I do feel like it.
Yeah,
Or
but
it was coming up.
Very
I don't
soon,
know.
yeah.
It's either
Just-
right now or it just happened.
Right.
One of the two.
I've never been a huge Bill Burr
Yeah.
guy personally. I think he just yells a lot.
Yeah.
And it's almost Lewis Black in nature for me, which is not. I'm not a big fan of Lewis Black. I don't
Yeah.
dislike him. I'm not interested in paying money
No,
to see them.
it's just more like an angry, like rah, rah, just kind of like shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
the Irish Catholic guy.
I saw Jim Norton a couple years ago at the jukebox, but only because my buddy was really into him. And I said, "Hey man, he's coming here. We should go see him. I know you love him." And then we went to see him. He was fine.
Yeah.
Jim Norton.
Didn't we go see? What's the guy on Roxbury's?
Chris Kattan?
Didn't we go see?
Not together.
But we were-
I went out with a lady, and it was one of those things where I didn't realize it was a date kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But I remember.
You thought it was just. What did you think it was? If it wasn't a date.
Well, it turns out I'm
was
fucking
there
stupid.
friends? Were you friends or no?
We worked together. And she said, you said you want to go to this? I said, all right.
Oh yeah.
And she tried to suck your dick.
And then she tried to fucking suck my cock
Oh
there.
no. Oh
Jeez. If it's happened once, it's happened 1,000 times.
she
I mean, ugh.
Did you see Chris Kattan there, though?
Yeah, I think it was the same weekend.
And he was like, he looked like he loved crack cocaine.
Oh yeah, he.
No,
looked really-
I'm sure. I'm sure.
He's strung out.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
of that, he was on a reality show recently. Well, I don't know where your radar is with all reality shows in general.
Which
but-
one was he on?
And he was like, I have a problem where I wake up in the middle of the night and I walk around to my refrigerator and I eat brownies. Wasn't that his thing?
Wasn't he on Celebrity Big Brother?
I think that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they have
he was
night
on
vision
Celebrity
of
Big
him,
Brother.
like,
Yes.
It's like digging into a pan of brownies. Like, Jesus. That's not how you get Night at the Roxbury, too. I think.
No, definitely not.
No. But yeah, we've had a lot of bigger celebrities. We saw David Coulier.
I saw him there too,
Down
yeah.
at the jukebox. Who else have I
You know what
seen?
bothered me about seeing him is they advertise him as Uncle Joey. Not Uncle Joey at all.
No.
He's just Joey. He's not
Yeah.
related to them.
Yeah,
He's
you're right.
Joey.
It's just Joey.
Uncle, jump in front of a fucking truck. It's just Joey.
It's just Joey.
It's Uncle
He's-
Jesse.
He's an uncle. He's an honorary uncle.
yeah.
Don't you have people that you call, like, for your kid, that you call aunt or uncle that aren't really blood aunt or
I
uncle?
don't do that.
You don't have anybody like that?
I dated a lady who called my daughter sis all the time.
What?
Not like sis male.
No,
but
like, hey, sis.
Yeah.
Hey, sis. What you doing, sis?
Yeah, but
no, that's weird.
it was like people who call people sis or like have uncles that aren't related. I don't subscribe to any of that stuff. If you guys, it's fine, but it's odd to me.
I have a few friends whose kids
Your aunt?
call me
Yeah.
Aunt Amanda, and I'm no relation. I mean, I didn't start it. Like, call me Aunt Amanda. No,
Right.
it was just like, people start it with their kids. And
Like I
I'm
remember
okay.
when my daughter Lorelai was real young, she'd be like, "Oh, hey, Uncle Blake." I said, "That fucker is not your uncle.
Do not call him that ever. We don't want
As
anyone
soon as
to
this
be
podcast's
confused.
over, we're gonna act like we've never met him before. I'm gonna do the Men in Black light bulb on your face. You're gonna forget
right.
you even met this guy.
Exactly right.
Listen, when does 18? Is that when she sits on the podcast? I just need to know.
She's been on a couple
Oh,
times.
has she?
She hasn't been on recently.
Okay,
but she's been on a
she
couple
has
times.
been on a couple times.
And we,
Okay.
and we PG-13. She's like 16 now.
Well, yeah,
She's
I know.
old.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
when his mom is on. We PG it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's fun.
Last thing I want to ask you about real quick is you are doing your podcast. I think you're doing it now in a former needle exchange building that Tim owns.
Tim owns nothing but the best buildings in town.
He's a classic slumlord.
In the best neighborhoods. He just buys up the good ones.
How are you doing it regularly in that building?
No.
Are you doing it in Tim's basement?
We're doing it in Tim's dining room. Where we
Okay.
did it when you guys were there, that's where he's got it set up right now.
Okay.
I don't know why he doesn't have it set up at the bar in the basement. I think it is kind of dark down there and lighting is kind of bad, and we do video now, and it's easier up on the main level where you got the natural light coming in.
But you had a studio before at a building that he owned, and that's gone
Yeah.
away. But you have another option to do it. Is the plan to eventually migrate over there?
I think that is the plan. I am not as big of a fan of the location of the.
Tim seemed
this one.
nonchalant about
They
it,
both,
but I get what you're saying.
Him and Brian are both nonchalant about it, but I, on the other hand,
You're a lady.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
for
a
sure.
different world for
Yeah.
ladies.
Yeah,
Right?
it's and I don't think I really felt a lot of that until I lost weight. I think I felt a little invincible when I was heavy and tall. Like I'm 6 foot, so you put a hoodie up. If I put my hood up on my sweatshirt, you know, when I was heavy, like you wouldn't have been able to tell if I was, you know, a big guy or a girl. And just the stature was kind of threatening. But now I feel like, you know, it is. There's just that weird level of, you just feel a little more vulnerable. I felt like back then I was just physically,
That's interesting because I mean, you having both of those experiences as a lady.
Yeah.
That is an interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, it was just because I was like the size of
Yeah.
a fully grown, you know, larger man,
Interesting.
and I felt like, I just felt like I didn't walk around, kind of concerned about my well-being or somebody approaching me because I think that I always just felt very safe at my size. And since I've lost weight, I do feel like that, you know,
I've
there
always
are
been
moments that
very ignorant of that. I've personally been very not cognizant of that at all until my daughter now is 16.
Oh, sure.
And as of this recording, in just a couple days, she'll get her license, and she already has a real nice car she'll be driving around. And my first thought is, like, I need to get her like
spray.
or mace or something. We have to equip her with a couple of things so
Sure.
she is safe because
Yep.
it is a different
Parking
world
lots,
out there. Blake and I both live in the Peoria area. We're white males.
Yeah.
But for women, it is a different experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's you have to be aware of that. That's interesting. You got to see
Yeah.
kind of both sides. Of
Yeah, it is. It is really interesting because I just never felt that way ever. Like
a new vulnerability is a very interesting thing.
it is, yeah. And then you're just like, I feel like now you could tell from a distance that I was a girl and that and I never could defend myself back then. It's not like I could have like done anything, but like I could have just dead weighted and you couldn't have picked me up. Like, I mean, you know, there's like things like that were like more comforting. Now it's like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not like super light. I don't think somebody could like toss me around, but I definitely know that I couldn't like,
So you're
box somebody
fine
off.
recording at Tim's house and not at this
Yes.
former needle exchange.
Yeah, he also has tenants that live there too, and we've
Yeah.
had some interactions with them,
Yeah.
and it's just not quite as easy. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure that the cleaning company that owned the building next to Tim's other building that the studio was in, I'm pretty sure that they called the cops on us a couple times, Brian and I, when we were there like late and before they realized that we were kind of irregular when we first started the building over there. Because the cops, you'd come out and there'd be like a cop sitting in the parking lot and you'd be like, I mean, never messed with us, but
Just a couple of junkies coming in and out. Is that what you're doing?
yeah, because I mean, these are all women. It was like a cleaning service,
Yeah.
Molly Bait or whatever there in the corner, and so I think that they were worried about their safety coming out. You know, with Brian and Tim kind of popping in and out of that building all the time, late at night, and
Looking
stuff,
like
so.
degenerates. Both of
Looking
those
like,
guys.
I mean, that's just it. You just don't know, and so you just are always more safe than sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think the space, I like the space better. Okay,
The
I
new
think
space?
yes,
I'm
I think
excited to
it's,
see it if you guys do something like
yeah,
that.
I think it's bigger. I like the feel of it. It's got like this painted exposed brick wall with the pipes and stuff. Like, I mean, visually for like the backdrop of the set and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's definitely more space. There is heat there, which there was not at
I
the
remember
other place.
recording at that place, and it was like, let's just keep your coat on.
Yes, I remember being like, I tell everybody, tell them there's no heat. Bring a jacket.
Yeah.
Bring gloves.
Yeah.
You know, so there's pros and cons. But yeah, I wish it was in a different part of town. But they all say that it's, you know, Brian and him both say that it's like industrial and there's not residential. So there's no reason for, I have seen plenty of people walking around down there.
I agree.
And
You got to be careful.
I won't be down there by myself.
That's a big
And
component of it,
that's it. Whereas if it's something needed picked up from the other studio, I would have gone.
No problem.
No problem.
This place, you go get it yourself.
Yes. No, one of you guys can go. Thanks. But yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain
You want one of these drinks here?
No.
I have Revolution beer.
No, I'm okay. I'm not even done with this one. Thank you, though.
It's. I will give you a warning. It's not very good. No,
Well, at least you're honest.
I'm nothing if not honest.
They had a bunch of these over at that
The Casey's,
that
yeah.
I found.
Hell yeah.
Found those distill ones out.
Blake, I know we're doing it every week this season, but this is the summer of spin-offs, right?
Yes. The summer of spin-offs. All season long, we will be reviewing failed pilots of television shows that were supposed to be spin-offs of famous shows. We've done a spin-off of Gilligan's Island, Emergency, Star fucking Trek, and so yeah, so a lot of good ones. And so yeah, we're all summer, next 10 episodes. If you're a failed spin-off of
We're coming for you.
we're coming for you.
Yeah.
Guns a-blazing.
There's so many Star Trek spin-offs.
Oh.
I bet there is one called Star fucking Trek.
I bet you could do a whole season of just Star Trek spinoffs.
You might be right.
I think you could.
But we wouldn't do that to ourselves.
Yeah, I don't want to upset Blake more than he already is. Today we discussed the pilot episode of Another Man's Shoes, which for some reason I typed in here as Another Man's Show, but I know that's not the name of it. It's Shoe.
Shoes.
It's from the year of our Lord 1900 plus 84. Now that was a great year.
It was a good year.
1984. Was that the bicentennial? No.
It sure was.
Was it?
No, it's
No.
76. I think last episode we said here's a year, and that was the year that Amanda's husband was born. And
Right.
here's another year, and it's the
Yes,
year Amanda
It
was born.
is. How does that
And
work?
that's why I asked you guys to be here.
Yeah.
Brian doesn't even
He
fucking
knew
show
it.
up.
He knew it. Where is he?
And where is Brian?
Where is he?
He said
He
he's
is working
on a Sunday night. Come on.
Yes, he is. He's down at the PBS TV station running master control, making sure everybody can watch their PBS programming.
I do like PBS programming.
Yeah,
Do you
I do
give?
too.
Do you get a tote bag every year, Blake?
No, I don't. How do I?
Not a supporter.
How do I watch PBS?
Well, I believe
It's a digital
It's
signal.
47.1. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's like 4 channels. Now
Oh.
there's like Create, the regular, and then 2 others.
British
Yeah.
and Bob Vila, PBS Bob Vila.
Nice.
Home Fix It.
Bob Vila will tell you how to get the mold off of the roof of your garage.
Oh.
I used to watch Bob Vila all the time when I was a kid. My parents watched it.
This
Yeah.
old house.
This old house.
And then you said, what you want to do is rip out the floors and you want to replace it with beautiful Bella wood.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some things that happened in 1984. We'll go back there.
In our minds.
To do so, we'll talk about things that happened that year so we can properly understand, digest, and eventually regurgitate, all disgusting words, information as it relates to Another Man's Shoes, because that's when it was made.
Right. We can't sit down and watch this pilot and judge it on today's standards. It's 2022, for goodness sake. It's not 1984. In 1984, the Bears didn't have a Super Bowl championship.
You got it.
Nowadays, they do have one. Now we have.
They also have a video.
We have
Shuffle.
we have the
right.
digital signal, obviously, of public access television.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A digital signal. We didn't have that back then.
No antenna needed.
No rabbit ears, no aluminum
Analog.
foil.
Yeah.
And we have surround sound now, and we didn't have that then. So
Yeah. I want to be surrounded by sound. And
Surround
we have the technology to do that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
you can almost surround yourself with a TV now because they have those curved TVs.
Yeah, you can put one curve on each side of you, and you could just stand in the middle.
What arc does it have? It's definitely not a 90 degrees. It's not even
No.
45 degrees.
No, it's just a.
It's got to be
No,
like
it's probably like
12.
30.
maybe 30.
I think 30.
So you get 4 or 5 of those together, or maybe
Yeah.
more. You really
could make a
surround
full
yourself.
circle. Like that, what do they call it on that they're using?
Pornography. Oh, sorry.
They call where they're filming all those new fancy Star Wars shows. They call it the volume, and
Oh,
it's
I've not heard of that.
basically TVs that like encompass all the walls. You haven't watched any of like the making of The Mandalorian or any of that on Disney Plus?
I'll do you one better. I
I
haven't
haven't watched The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Stop that. That's why my husband keeps me up to date on the pop culture. I know what's
Right.
up.
Well, I know he just wrote an article about all the Easter eggs in the recent season of Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah.
And released that. That was part of our date. He was telling me about that. But I need to watch some of those. Blake, I know
Yeah.
you are a Star Wars guy. Forgive me, not Star Trek. You like Star Wars, right?
No, I mean, I've seen them. I can tell. They don't.
There was a time where you were into it.
No.
I really have to disagree with. I'm gonna write when I write your biography. There will be a chapter where you love Star Wars.
And at the end of that chapter, I'm going to say no.
So are you? So you're not watching any of these series? I
No.
assume.
I just
Okay.
don't have time to sit
I
and
thought
watch
you
it.
really liked Stormtroopers.
I like Stormtroopers hitting the ground. I like Stormtroopers.
Well, that is part of Star Wars.
I guess I don't really pay it. I like some of the. I don't know what they.
You just like the goose-stepping, totalitarian diligence of the Star Trek.
Right.
I don't follow I don't follow all the stuff. Like I wouldn't know. Like I still don't understand what that little Ewok guy was, or the little green guy. I don't know, Yoda, whatever. Was it Yoda as a baby, or was it a different Yoda? I don't know.
Are you talking about from the Mandalorian?
It's a different person or a different creature
From the
a
same
different-
species,
Yeah, from the
right.
same species because it's got a different name. His name is Grogu. It's not Yoda. So that's how you know. Is that are you?
And
That's the name of those robots that clean the floor, though, isn't it? The Grogu's.
Grogu.
Am I thinking? Oh no, that's the Roku, the TV.
Yeah.
Roku is
Oh,
Blake's
Roku is the
TV.
TV. Okay.
Blake's TV.
That's where we get
preference is
confused.
Roku.
So yeah. Do I appreciate some Star Trek stuff? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can't.
Star Trek.
I mean Star Wars, but I
Love
just can't.
Star
I just can't follow all this stuff. There's too much
I can't.
stuff.
I can't follow it either. I really can't. But I am completely amazed by this new. Basically, they've created. It's like a 3D moving background now. So it's makes it the movies and the actors then feel immersive in the actual environment because to them the actors can now see what environment they're in. It used to be all filmed on green screens.
I've seen so many behind the scenes and making of, and you'll have like Chris Hemsworth there, and he's standing there with a big fucking
In front of a
hammer,
green screen.
and everything
Yeah.
is green.
Yeah.
You'll even have like geometric shapes like covered in green, like he's supposed to acknowledge that there's like something there.
Yes.
and then someone's offset with like a big piece of bamboo and a string,
Like holding something
and a
at him.
golf ball.
Yeah,
He's just
look
kinda-
here.
Yeah, and it's like, how the fuck do you act like that? It's the worst you've ever. And sometimes when you see the final product, you're like, this looks amazing. And
Yeah.
sometimes you see it, you're like, that looks fucking terrible.
Looks like he's staring at talking to a golf ball.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting that they're making strides in that technology
Yeah.
to make it more immersive for the actor because they literally have nothing to look at but the color green sometimes.
Well, and that's it because they're not actually filming a lot of times like what's behind them. They can interlay that afterward. But yeah, the actors walking around and stuff feel that immersion of being in the environment. It's incredible.
I had no idea that technology.
It's very
existed.
neat.
God bless
Very,
them.
very neat.
July 1st, 1984, Liechtenstein becomes the last country in Europe to grant women the right to vote.
What took you so
1984.
long,
Seems about right.
guys?
Seems about right.
The United States passed by Congress June 4th, 1919, and ratified on August 18th, 1920. The 19th Amendment for these United States granted the women the right to vote. 1920.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been over 100 years. Congratulations, Amanda.
Hey, thank you.
But
How's it working for you?
Doesn't work out very good.
Right. You're
Let me
not
tell you.
kidding. Yeah.
Don't have. It's not like you have some massive voice.
Liechtenstein, 1984. That's
Yeah,
insane.
it is crazy. That is
Lord.
crazy, but it does seem about right. I feel like too, like it might have been 1920. 1920. That
Oh, over there?
No, here.
Okay.
But I do think that's kind of it's the same kind of situation as like it took 2 years before all the slaves were freed.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
very similar thing. So
Hindsight, of course, is 2020.
women's right to vote is that might have been the day, but I think it was probably it's still we still ongoing fight the kind of putting in roadblocks to people getting access to vote, and
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
we're still in this. Like
It'll
it's
always be
gross.
that way,
Like
yeah.
it's you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like the white man wants to control who has the access to the vote.
Now, wait. It's not the white man. It's the rich white man.
Wow.
There's a difference.
Yeah, Blake's not making any fucking decisions.
I was like, I'm not making any decisions. Don't blame this shit on
You
me.
know who he answers to? His wife. The woman who couldn't vote in Liechtenstein 4 days
Right?
ago.
Yeah.
July 25th, Salyut 7 Cosmonaut Svetlana Savitskaya becomes the first woman to perform a spacewalk.
Was she Russian?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut is like, that's like the coolest
It
name
is a cool
ever,
name.
right?
It is.
Like, in my career, I'm a cosmonaut.
Yeah.
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 I'd say that's
United
pretty
States,
cool.
we say astronauts, and we have some cool
Yeah.
stuff. But the United States does not have a word as cool as the word cosmonaut in terms of like being in outer
If you can
space.
think of one, email
Right.
us, but I don't think there is
Please
one.
email us.
Please.
Think of one.
Here, I'll just start refreshing now the email address. Okay.
It'll be coming in any minute.
Liechtenstein, still no women walking on the moon. July 28th through August 12th, the 1984 Summer Olympics are held in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Olympics came back, about 100 years ago or so,
Yeah.
in the early 1900s, I believe, started to become a big thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you been to an Olympics? Would either of you want to go to an Olympics, just as a spectator?
Yeah, I have not been to an Olympics. My mom was a huge fan. She
Huge fan of the Olympics.
Yes, she likes anything that was very formal and ceremonial kind of tradition.
Patriotic,
I mean,
too.
just tradition in general. I mean, she liked the Royals real well.
Well,
I mean,
She went to
grew
all
up
the-
Catholic, right?
She went to all
I
the
grew up
Catholic weddings.
I mean, that's another very
That's all
tradition based.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. She really liked tradition. So, of course, the Olympics were high on her list of things she liked. So, I'd like to go one day. Like, if it was somewhere that I could go. I think that typically when it's not pandemic times, like, it was neat. They create these kind of villages. And the fact that they build all this stuff just for the Olympics is always incrable to me.
And
then
then,
they
like,
never use- and then never
Yeah,
use it
and then they
again.
just become vacant and kind of these weird
hobos take them over
yeah.
6 months later.
Atlanta. I've heard a lot of the stuff down in Atlanta.
Was it Brazil a couple years ago?
Oh, yeah, Rio.
And it's just like they weren't ready.
Yeah.
It was fucking garbage.
Oh, yeah,
and
Rio was
as
bad.
soon as the closing ceremonies were over, it was just like falling apart. And just like it was disgusting and
Wow.
gross.
Yeah.
It's insane. You mentioned the Olympic villages. Blake, you've heard of these before, right?
Yeah.
Like where all the participants stay.
Sure.
I've heard it's just a big suck and fuck fest.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's
for
exactly
sure.
what I've heard. Well, and it's young people. I mean, you're talking about people in their late teens and 20s
Yeah.
is the majority of these competitors.
Well, you take a look at like professional sports in the United States, and they're usually like dominated by the black man, right? Like, and it's like years of like breeding black men to be these big, strong, powerful slaves, right, in America, and then that is just continued. Their lineage is
Sport.
they
Yeah,
become
they're
huge,
built
big,
for
strong
sport.
guys.
Yeah.
I think the same could be said about the Olympians. You get them all together,
Yeah.
they start sucking and fucking, and you're going to get these ultra powerful
Powerful
kids,
kids, yeah.
coming out of these Olympic villages, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cyborg.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you ever like listen to some of these, like, I like listening to their like weird backstories and stuff, and almost all of them, like, their parent was an Olympian or, someone in their family. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming, or those level of athleticism is not like something that just is like a fluke.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, wow, ooh, that one kid of our family is real good at this. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think also these people live and breathe these things. I mean, just last week
they
we were
started
talking
real
about
young.
Castaways on Gilligan's Island, where the child was an Olympian hopeful, right? You live your entire life doing only this one thing, even if you're not like perfectly engineered as a human being to be this thing.
Practice makes perfect.
You're going to be incredible at it because you spend 12 hours a day doing it.
More
you know?
time than anyone else. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think it's one of those things where we'll never know who the greatest in the world is or the potential to be. We just know the people who have enough money to keep funneling into their child to do this thing
Yeah.
will eventually be very good at it. Maybe not a God-given talent, but very good that they can at least compete at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blake, if you were to be an Olympian, what
I would go watch the beach volleyball.
so if you were an Olympian, you would just go watch volleyball.
Sorry, I didn't let you finish the question. I thought it was the question that you were going to ask about it. I want to go see beach volleyball.
So what is it about men's beach volleyball that you like so much?
Well, just the way their muscles glisten in the sun.
Listen, starting next Olympics, those girls ain't gonna be wearing those outfits. I hate to tell you.
somebody-
That ended this
somebody's-
last time around.
Somebody spoke up and ruined it. Mary J. Blige paid, or
the men get to wear like
Pink paid for somebody's
It was like the
fine.
German team that said, "Hey, why don't you fuck yourself right in your face?"
We're not wearing that.
We're not. You can't. I don't want you to look directly into my vagina
Yeah.
while I'm spiking a ball.
Yeah.
Now, look, me as a spectator, do I
Yeah.
want to look at it? Sure, I do.
Sure.
They are very. It's just very erotic outfits, but
Yeah.
it genuinely does not need to be that way.
No.
So this honestly is.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they should put more on to make sure there's less sand gets in the places that they don't want sand to get in.
Yeah.
I think the outfits that they wear now, so much sand is just getting into those places.
Yeah. Bunch of sand gets in the left breast area,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
finally
yeah.
evens
It
out.
finally
the breast,
evens
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I feel like sand's a good thing to use in your bra if you wanted to
The great
you know,
equalizer.
create
Sand.
a lifelike.
Put out a fire if you need to. Just throw your sand on.
All this
there.
sand boob talk really takes me back to 1984. I don't know about you guys.
I'm there.
I was 3 years old, of course, in 1984.
I was 7.
Yeah.
To 9.
And you were tired, too.
9.
No, yeah, you were 6. 9, you were 9.
I was 9.
And that must have been, you were 1 year old.
I wasn't even one yet. I was born in '84, so I was just months old.
Months old.
Months.
We asked you last week, and I feel like you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Even though Blake gave you a very obscure clue. But there are 4 reasons this season why we were watching
4 reasons.
Another Man's Shoes. Do you know what those are?
Well, the first one is that it is a spin-off of a actual series that went to air. The next is you can readily find it on the YouTube or some streaming service.
Daily Motion.
Yes,
Emotion.
that's right.
Umotion.org.
I was really mad because I couldn't stream it to my TV. I couldn't get it to.
Thank
cast.
you very much.
I couldn't get, for some reason, this website to cast.
What kind of phone do you have?
Samsung.
See, I gotta see it. Right.
It's an
You know
iPhone
what,
problem.
Amanda? Every time we watch a pilot on this
Yeah.
goddamn website,
Yeah.
I have the same problem. And he earlier he said he no longer.
I chastise him.
He does. He
Yeah.
says I don't try.
That's crazy.
He doesn't try, and I have no pity for him, and I chastise him.
But you tried and it didn't work.
Yeah, but
So why do
I
I-
didn't give it a lot of effort, and this isn't my main podcast that I do. So
Little effort can be given for the show. It's fine.
I mean, I think that if I was a host, a permanent host, I might have put a little more effort.
I didn't even ask her to make a case against you. She did it automatically. All right, what's the other reason?
I'm just very logical. That it's a pilot. It never had any more episodes, and then the last one, it's for free.
Very
Is
good.
that it? I get them all.
You got them all.
Win. Was that Bippity Boppity Boo?
Yeah, that was the intro
enjoyed
to
that.
Dishing Disney. My friend Dustin and his wife Brianna do a show about Disney shows.
Okay.
And for some reason, that's on our board.
I like Bippity Boppity Boo, so.
That'll be your intro next time.
Yeah,
you come
right.
on. You can find the entire episode of Another Man's Shoes by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or download the app for Daily Motion. Amanda?
Do it to YouTube it.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
You're laughing because you think you screwed it up? You got it 100% right. So joke's on you.
It's just whatever comes out.
It's verbal diarrhea.
You got it.
We all have it sometimes. People say I get verbal diarrhea after eating Mexican food. Not me.
Huh.
Not me. My BMs are solid and dry after that.
Ooh, dry? Oh,
They're rough.
I don't.
Verbal
Yeah.
diarrhea.
Summary of the pilot: when his brother dies, Schneider decides to move to take care of his niece and nephew. If that isn't hard enough, Anne, Barbara, and Julie are gone. Thus, Schneider will be taking life himself one day at a time. Last time I said it like Schneider was going to commit suicide in the episode. Not the case. That does not happen during the pilot.
I'll give it a C plus. I feel like the part about Valerie Bertinelli and that was not necessary in the
The summary.
summary.
Thank you. Do you care to give it a rating?
I have no feelings about it.
And that's fine. You gave us a
So,
rating last
yeah,
time. You
yeah,
don't have to do it.
Right? Yeah.
Literally, I'm the only one that has to do it. Like contractually,
Yes.
He
I'm-
does have to. Yes, that's
yeah,
right.
Contractually,
Well, you're
I'm
the
like,
captain. Hello.
You are. Hey, this is
captain. My captain.
spin-off of one day at a time. I think it was around for like 7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah,
it was around for a while. You guys remember the show? Did you watch the show?
No.
I remember watching. I think again it was on reruns and stuff. I didn't remember watching it as a kid, but I remember watching it.
I would catch it. I think it was another thing that may have been on Nick at Night somewhere.
Right. I just have no recollection of the show.
Not at all.
Like nobody in my family must have been into it because that's usually how you sat down and watched stuff is because I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Around when all this stuff aired. So if they were running on reruns, it had been somebody in my family that was wanting to watch it.
I think it was a Norman Lear show. Oh, don't worry about that.
You all right?
Yes, it's just the
Norman Lear made All in the Family, and everyone's like, All in the Family is a great American sitcom because it dealt with real issues. And that there is something to that. And we even covered, I think, a spinoff, the failed pilot for. Remember that we did the failed pilot for All in the Family. It was called something else.
Is that a Growing Pains-esque,
Spin-off?
like, I mean, yeah, or like, is that a similar show, Growing Pains? So like, is that more something that I would...
That was more of a family orient. This is a divorced mother and her two daughters, daughters.
You weren't seeing this a lot back then.
No, you weren't.
No. Wow, that is very revolutionary for 84.
This is 84. Say One Day at a Time started at like 76 or something.
Yeah.
Like 75, 76. Yeah,
Right.
you don't see
No.
that. Yeah, so I should have looked into it, but it may have been like a Norman Lear show. And Norman Lear was lauded for bringing like real issues and good quality programming to television.
That's why my family wasn't watching it.
they just
We
wanted
prefer Gilligan's Island
the
and
tradition and ceremonial process of Gilligan's Island. Yeah.
so true.
But yeah, it was a show that dealt with real issues. As a single mother, had was it Mackenzie Phillips or I can't remember her name, but her father was in like Jefferson's Airplane, right?
Oh, yeah.
and she was the girl who's like later, I've been sleeping with my dad for the past 30 years. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ, you never heard of this at all, Mackenzie Phillips?
No.
But
That's quite the story.
But I think throughout the show she had battled with like heroin.
Drug addiction.
Yeah.
She was on and off the show. She would get fired and brought back on a couple times. They had Valerie Bertinelli, who was later to go on to what? Kate and Allie, right? Wasn't she on that? Was that her and Jane Curtin? No, maybe not. No, I'm thinking of something else.
It was something else.
But Valerie Bertinelli married
Eddie Van Halen.
That's right.
yeah.
They actually met, where she was making this. That's how young she was.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. Interesting. Well, enough talk about One Day at a Time. Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason has scoured the internet to find facts about this show that you will most likely not know. All we ask is that you maintain your silence in regards to your opinion. Please don't taint someone else's experience. Keep your opinions to yourself. But again, Amanda, you can comment on it. You just can't give your opinion.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Better out than in, right?
I don't know.
Do you belch in front of your husband?
Yeah.
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 I don't-
But we're not into the farting.
Okay, I would say
It's not.
ladies I know don't fart. I know
Yeah.
that from just my personal research.
Yes. No.
But I was going to ask you, he does not fart in front of you.
No.
There has to be an air of mystery. There
Yeah.
has to be.
Listen, that's it. Like we don't need to share bathroom habits. Like you can say like my stomach doesn't feel good. I need to spend some time in the bathroom, and we all know what that means without having to be over descriptive about it. Like I'm a real believer in that. Like you just do not like. It's kind of a social,
It's
thing.
a faux pas.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So you close the door in the bathroom?
Oh, well, the dog. So, but I mean, it's not like the door is open for Brian to walk by.
Right.
Like the dog is allowed to come in and out of the bathroom, and that's why the door is open. But if he were moving about the house, the door would be shut. You know what I mean? Like if it's known that he's not going to walk by because our bathroom is kind of on the other end of our house, that we don't
Blake
go
and I
through
have
that
never
hallway.
been invited, so we don't know.
You guys should come over sometime.
So can we come over and take huge shits in your house?
Sure. Go for it.
Like
I got a bathroom and a half, so I can easily quarantine off one for you
Blake will
guys
take
to
the
shit
sink,
in.
and I'll take the
so.
toilet. Yeah.
I like the other day, Molly was brushing her teeth, and I just walked in behind her and
Absolutely
and peed.
not.
I peed.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
No.
to keep
Another
the
reason our
romance.
relationship's not going to work, Amanda.
I have, and I'm the last guy that anyone should be asking about advice in terms of relationships. But I do think that there needs to be an air of mystery, and largely that mystery surrounds the anus.
From bathroom habits,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Ain't nobody need to know about your bathroom habits. And if you have something of concern, like, hey, we don't need to like fully discuss it. But we'll get you to the doctor.
There you go.
Yep, we'll get you to the doctor. Whatever
Okay.
you need. But I don't.
I like having a man on. Sometimes we don't agree on everything, but sometimes she really bolsters my thoughts and my,
Sure.
my theories with her own experiences.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'm very much into kind of social norms, and I don't like. I don't like that.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, you just took off your headphones. I want to make sure you're on.
He's gonna share with his bathroom habits. That you have.
He gets audibly upset by things, like when he can't go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Because other people talking. Now we have the dogs barking, and it is bothering you, isn't it?
It will, yeah.
Oh, is it the dogs?
Do you want me to terminate the dogs?
Stop.
I have an open invitation to anyone that I am an animal hitman. I take no pleasure in it.
No, yeah. That's on your commercial.
Right.
You're like, I take no pleasure in this.
What do I take the pleasure in, though? Do you know? Getting the money. Interesting facts. This backdoor pilot was the last show of the series, One Day at a Time. It was a potential spin-off series starring Schneider, of course. Release date May 28th, 1984. This may be the only spinoff to ever be the last episode in a series.
Yeah, I thought
This
that
is
was
like the
interesting when I
This
saw
is the finale, huh?
That's
yeah.
it.
And they were trying to.
Well, in the episode before this, you have the main character. The main characters of the show, I believe, were Schneider, the wife, Bonnie Franklin, I think was her name, and then Valerie Bertinelli and Mackenzie Phillips as her daughters, and they all kind of like
Don't call her daughters.
Thank you. Sometimes it is worth it. I think Bonnie Franklin, the mother, she like moved to London with a man she had met and fell in love with, and each of the girls were going off to school or doing their own thing. So it was a nice, natural. This is the end of the chapter of our life. We're separating here.
And they're like, oh shit, we forgot one character of the show, Schneider. What are we going to do with him?
Maybe we can make a bunch of more money, or maybe not. Starred Pat Harrington Jr. as Dwayne Schneider. He's best known for being on One Day at a Time. He's also in Journey to the Center of the Earth and Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels.
Oh, Captain Caveman.
I never know what reference is going to hit with you.
Wow,
Okay.
I don't know anything about this.
Oh, you don't know anything about
No, I just think it's very interesting title of something.
Does Captain Caveman resonate with you at all?
Like not really. I mean, maybe if you.
Captain Caveman.
He knows.
that
He knows
from?
what's it. Where is it from?
Hanna-Barbera, right?
Yes, but was he derivative of the Flintstones?
No, he wasn't.
But he was Hanna-Barbera.
Right, he was purple, and he.
Oh, was he purple? I thought he was like this. I thought he looked like Cousin It from the Addams
Yeah,
Family. He's just
but-
all
but
hair.
I thought it was purple hair.
It might have been. Okay, I'm thinking brown.
I've got a computer. I'll look.
Thank you. Captain Caveman was just a guy. I think he had a cape on. He was all hair.
Okay.
He had, I believe, a cape, and then he walked around with a big club. And I felt like he was a side character in something.
Oh, you're right. He didn't.
Oh,
have,
I
he
think.
didn't- he didn't have purple hair.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yes. Okay. That's Captain Caveman. Okay.
Captain Caveman.
The
and
picture,
Teen
100%.
Angels, and the teenagers.
That's what I always remember. Brian has to give me like these clues that give a
Sure.
still in my
Yeah.
mind to remind me.
You guys have that kind of relationship. He knows
We
what you
do.
need to get there.
Yep. And I take care of him on other things. We're good.
Whoa, hold on a second. But the show, I think Captain Caveman would show up in these Hanna-Barbera shows, but then eventually he had his own show called Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels,
Right, it was-
which is very odd
It's
to me.
creepy. It's very creepy
it was,
sounding.
It was kind of like the Charlie's Angels kind of thing.
But they're
Yeah, but
They're
were
teenage
they-
girls. They're teenage girls.
Were
They're
they
scantily
teenage
dressed.
girls? Yeah.
Yes, they were.
so it was like
There was an African American.
like he was the Charlie to the Charlie's Angels, right? Like he was giving them instructions, and it was these kids going out and solving mysteries, and every once in a while he'd show up with a big fucking club and beat someone to
right.
death.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
It
I don't
sounds
like
fucked
those.
up.
Right? It was a cartoon though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That's one of those weird cartoons from our
Ugh.
childhood where it's like you look back at it and go like, "Oh, that's not appropriate."
It lasted 400 episodes. No, I don't know. if it was past 10, I'd be surprised. It also stars Corey Feldman as Keith Schneider, best known from Stand By Me, The Goonies, and Friday the 13th Part,
3. 4. Shoot, 4.
the beginning of the Tommy Jarvis
That's
trilogy. That's right.
It is 4.
What do you best know?
3's the girl. Right.
What is 3?
Three's the psychic girl.
The which one?
The psychic girl, isn't 3?
Part 3, the psychic girl. I think
Yeah.
that's part 7.
7.
Laura Park
man,
Lincoln.
I'm awful at this. Yeah.
Are you really? I thought you were really good.
I
at
mean,
this.
I mean, like I like them and I know the things, but I don't know random facts.
I've been watching a lot of it recently.
Brian is the fact man.
Yeah.
Like he knows all the trivia. Like I enjoy, and
Blake's-
that's where you bring me in. I come in to enjoy.
Blake's the fact man in our relationship.
I don't believe that. No, I think Blake and I are very much the same human
Yeah,
in the relationships. Like
We're like, lead me to where you're. Oh yes,
yes,
I remember now.
You and Brian. That's where you're missing your counterpart to.
I do feel
validate.
half. There's a hole in my
Yes,
heart. It
yeah.
can only be filled by Brian. Hey, Blake, what do you best know Corey Feldman from?
He's the Coreys, the other Corey,
Haim.
Yeah.
They were best buddies, and didn't he like? I remember like not that long ago, like he had an album like in a video, and he's like a singer now or something. And
Similar to Captain Caveman, I think Corey Feldman.
Yes.
It's,
With the
it's Corey
chicks.
Feldman and the
Angels.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
I
Was he
did
in
watch
Goonies?
some
Was
of-
he in Goonies?
I mentioned that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in Goonies.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But mostly
He's
you
a
know
frog
him
brother.
from the
Yeah,
Coreys, because they used to run around together and getting in trouble.
But that's
and
interesting
doing
that
drugs.
you know him for his friendship and relationship with Corey Haim versus like any show that he did or movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
besides Goonies, I mean that was a given.
So you did see Goonies.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
it.
on the short list.
I think I've seen it almost all the way through.
Just a couple movies that Blake's seen.
You know, that,
I think I've seen Throw Mama from the Train too.
Andy's seen Encino Man and Tombstone. End of interesting
Oh.
facts.
Tombstone is one of the greatest movies ever made.
See no man.
I would go.
Biodome.
I would go.
I feel like
oh,
you're
I've,
gonna see Biodome.
I've seen
too.
Biodome,
Yes.
too.
Listen, I've just
You
pegged,
nailed it.
I just know exactly.
because my mom is in the army now. Son-in-law,
Oh my
Jury duty.
gosh.
jury duty. My mom,
Okay.
because my mom is a big
She's got a big boner for the weasel.
yeah. She loved the weasel.
Oh, listen, that is a strange pairing of movies for your mother to like.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
if you knew her nickname. Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I hope those dogs go take a nap so we can have some Twitter responses. One dog just was given some drugs just
Oh,
now.
good.
No, it's drug time.
Like sleep forever drugs.
No, not sleep forever.
Oh.
Stay calm because of fireworks.
Oh, fireworks.
The white
Poor
one, the big
puppies.
huge white one,
Yeah.
is definitely afraid.
Oh, sad.
So yeah,
Poor puppy.
it's sad that people have to be obnoxious and light them off.
Oh, I was getting it all last night at my house. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, last night was
we
a
get
good-
them. I mean, it's like one school lets out. It's like fireworks
Yes.
every night.
Yeah.
Like there's at least a few like, you know.
People love
booms.
blowing shit up. You can
do.
blame them. We're Americans, right?
I just tell you what. I just want to know how much money these people
Oh.
spend because that's really what it is, right? As you're listening to these, I am just listening to dollars.
Yeah.
bing, 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 bing.
Oh, that was $4.50. Oh, $12.75.
Holy,
Holy
shit.
crap.
And like time after time. And you're like days upon days of this going on. Like, how much money did you invest
No
in
joke.
this?
You
It's
hear that,
incredible.
You hear that initial pop that's so loud, and then you hear that crackle. And I'm listening to that crackle. The longer that crackle goes, the
yeah.
higher the dollar sign
Oh, yeah.
goes for me.
Gotta- Can you see it? Did you see it in the air? Then you just add up the money.
Ching. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Hey, there's no Twitter responses, which is heartbreaking. This is the
That's
second pilot
tragic.
we've done. Corey Feldman was involved. He doesn't get back to me.
Oh, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. Anyway.
Look, I don't like to use the phrase washed up very much, but let's put 10 minutes on the clock and talk about Another Man's Shoes. And I don't think it's said up to this point, but you did not watch this.
I didn't know. No, I started it. I watched him like walking into the house like several times. And then I was like, oh, I got to run over to Shanna's. She was having people over, and so I went over there.
How is Shanna doing?
She is great.
Great. Thank
She is my bestie.
Tell her I said
she's-
hi.
Yeah, sure will. But then I tried to watch it in their backyard and the signal was real bad and it was just like cutting it out. And I was like, well, I was going to watch it right here and I guess I'm not going to, but you guys
fine.
don't mind.
No.
We don't mind at all. Daily Motion gets away with putting stuff up on their license stuff because it flips it around. It gives you the
Oh,
mirror
it's the
image.
reverse. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how they do
And then
it.
shoves 47 commercials in it.
Every 5 minutes, like
Yeah.
on the dot, it gives you
Yeah.
like 2 minutes of commercials.
Okay, so we walk in and or we see Valerie Bertinelli is in the apartment, and that is not the same apartment that they had. I don't know. That's not the
From
normal.
the TV show.
This is the mirror image
Oh, is that just what's
I-
throwing you off?
I still don't think it was.
Okay.
But Snyder walks in, and supposedly Valerie Bertinelli is like his secretary, and the fact that like she took care of scheduling all of these flights and everything, and all the stuff he's got going on.
They're family at this point. 8
Well, I
seasons in,
understand,
they're family.
So, and he goes through the kind of describes what's going on. His brother has died. His brother's wife was already dead,
I believe that's the case.
and
yeah.
they have 2 children, and that Schneider's never met before, and he's got to go down to Florida to pick these kids up and take them to their aunt's house, which I guess is Snyder's sister, right? This way.
I don't know if it's his sister or it is the kid's aunt, whether it's his sister or like a sister-in-law through
I got
his
you.
brother's marriage. What Aunt Mildred, I believe her name was.
Yeah, and so that's the premise of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he is going to be the delivery of these children.
Can you describe, for people who have not seen One Day at a Time and aren't familiar with it, can you describe Schneider's mustache?
To mustache. Yeah, I can describe his whole outfit because it was the same outfit every episode. We'll start at the top. He has the thick dark hair kind of parted on the side. A Burt Reynolds would be jealous kind of mustache of this, right? This guy is thick and dark.
Describe it, though. It is a very specific mustache.
It's very Hitler-esque.
Well, it starts at the top, like the septum of your nose, and then 2 lines make a V shape going down to the top of the lip, and then there is just hair at the top of the lip and to the side of the lip.
Okay.
There's nothing up here.
Yeah,
and there's
nothing in the middle.
Nothing in the middle.
That's just...
It is very precision.
Yeah.
He always
That's got to take some serious grooming.
It's 2 hours a day.
he always wore a white T-shirt and he had a pack of cigarettes rolled up on his sleeve.
Yep.
He also wore a vest. It was a denim vest with denim on the front side and leather on the back. He had a big old tool belt. Flaring, what do you call those?
Bell bottoms?
Bell bottoms.
Flailing.
Yeah,
Flaring.
flaring. They run fire all the time.
Yeah, let him finish.
and then like brown leather shoes.
You're right. That is. He was like a cartoon character
Yeah.
that way. He had the same outfit every
His
episode.
uniform. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from this first opening scene with Valerie Bertinelli, it cuts to a bar run by a lady named Jackie on a Florida boardwalk, and the bar is filled with a bunch of different characters.
Was it a bar or was it? Would you say it was like an eatery?
It definitely had a bar up front. Maybe it was a diner, but it had
Yeah.
arcade machines and a mime.
Mine.
Had a mime in there, which is like I defy you to make a more '80s character than a mime. You know?
How do you not get that part?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know?
Well, I was thinking the whole time.
Line, please.
No line. All I have to do is move silently. My whole thing I was thinking is like, don't extras not get paid as much because they have no lines? Would this mime just be an extra that got paid shit money?
Yeah, probably.
But yeah,
'cause he
Jackie
didn't
owns
have
the
any
restaurant,
active
and
lines.
she's super hella stressed out. Things are broken and everything, and it's kind of havoc.
This
right?
is a new location that people who have watched the show, they don't know these people. This is a new location with new folks, right? Everyone at the bar seems to have heard of Schneider. They definitely know the situation with the kids and their father dying. And Schneider he has a reputation as being a drunk, apparently.
Right, and he does not like that.
That's who I want to take my kids' place.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
just this
but I don't
drunk
think he
guy.
is a drunk.
But
I think that's just a reputation.
Yeah,
just
it was just a rumor that his brother talked shit about him because they didn't talk for like
15
years.
Yeah. So Schneider arrives on a pedicab, ridden by a lady on a bike driving this
pedicab.
and the lady's got like the shortest, like Marianne from Gilligan's Island shorts, just creeping up,
And huge hair.
Oh, she got a big old head of hair.
And she was young, right? I would say she was young.
Probably, yeah,
18, I guess, 19.
maybe. I don't know. I can't
Driving
tell.
grown men around in pedicabs.
Hell yeah,
I mean,
well, she's got big old
badass.
She's got big old calves on her. Yeah,
thighs and calves.
pumping that. Schneider arrives and he's looking for Jackie, and she comes up to Schneider, and it's clear that she's skeptical about him and his character,
Right.
as his reputation seemed to have preceded
Right.
him. Schneider is planning on taking the kids to Oregon to be with their aunt, and the kids also arrive in the very same pedicab. And you got some little girl. I think her name is Lori.
It was Lori, yeah, and Keith.
Yeah, Keith is played by Corey Feldman, and they also have a dog named Dwayne, which happens to be Schneider's first name. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I didn't catch that.
The kids are not happy to see him. They don't really know who he is. I think Keith is the older one at age 12, and he hasn't seen his brother in 15 years, so he doesn't know these kids at all.
Yeah.
Lori runs away crying.
Yeah.
which I thought was over dramatic.
She runs upstairs, and he goes to follow her to kind of, calm her down and collect the kids so they can go. And he's stopped by an old woman who is a psychic.
ZZ.
I swear to God, it's a guy.
My guy. Yeah.
Is
the
it a
voice,
guy?
I don't know. I don't think it is, but the voice is a guy's voice, and the face.
But
is,
she's big and
Yes.
tall, and she
Yes.
has a deep voice.
Listen,
very
that
Russian.
was me. No, I'm just kidding.
But you don't have a deep voice.
No, but I've always had like I think that I kind of that's why I do the weird like inflections and kind of have those kind of trails with my voice is because
Okay.
I think that overall I did always have a deeper voice and when you're larger, but
Well, this is like I've been smoking a pack of cigarettes
No,
for 40
yeah, the
years.
rasp.
Voice.
Yeah,
I've,
the crazy
I've never
rasp.
I've never mistaken you for not
No.
being a woman.
I
But
tell you what,
this
that
lady,
first episode of Challenge, I was sick, and yeah, the talks were, it was pretty
Oh,
good.
really?
I hated that. Yeah,
you're well beyond that.
thank God.
She's the lady. She's a fortune teller. She's probably in her 60s or 70s, I would say.
Yeah.
He finally makes it upstairs, and the kids say, "Hey, we like her home. We don't want to leave here."
Yeah, he's like, well, you got to. You don't have anybody. They're like, oh, all these people are involved in our lives, taking care of us. He's
Yeah.
like, we got to have one person, family member, take care of you. And they're like, well, we don't really want to go.
So your Aunt Mildred's in the Northwest. I'm going to take you over there, right?
Yeah, and then Keith Corey Feldman, or right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't it,
he
Keith?
says something about how the welfare department came by, and that really that really gets Snyder like he's like, well, they're getting involved. We got to get this done. You got to get you out of here before they
They're going to be put in the system, and they'll never hear from him again. Yeah. So Corey is 12, and again, both kids like where they are, and they feel like they've cultivated this family of misfits that populate the downstairs diner or bar or whatever. It's just all the local people hanging out
Sure.
always. And while that's happening upstairs, downstairs, everyone gathers around. Madame Serena, I believe is her name, the psychic or whatever. And she's looking to a crystal ball, and she's basically kind of entertaining everyone with her predictions about what's going to happen.
upstairs.
Yeah. Now, from here, I will say that I did watch the rest of the show. But I'm gonna need your help because the rest of my notes got deleted when my my computer shut down on like by itself. But I have watched it. And I will be able to piggyback on what you're saying. So I definitely saw it.
The tides turn.
See
Who
that?
is the guy that's needed now? Who has finally taken over and admitted he needs me?
That's hysterical.
Say it. Just say it.
I literally quit my notes for the challenge episode we recorded yesterday about 20 minutes to the end, and I just told the boys like I just stopped. Like I was just out of the mood, and we just finished it.
Yeah, just
I
gotta.
feel like that's very.
You gotta coast every once in a while.
All right, I'll pick up. You know what? I will pick up your coattails.
Thank you so
and
much.
I will
Yes.
guide you through this
It's
journey.
nice that you have a backup, though. No one backs me up. They're just like, oh well, let's just try to remember.
Blake's been my backup for 10 years now.
So Jackie comes and knocks on the door, frantic again, and she says that she got a telegram or something. It says that Aunt Mildred is going to jail and something to do
For embezzlement.
For embezzlement.
Whoa.
I think it was through the church or something.
Yeah. And
Stealing money from the church.
So-
Aunt Mildred's terrible
yeah,
human.
so
Yeah, she's a piece of junk.
so Snyder's like, shit, this is the worst time. Well, couldn't you just wait a couple more weeks until I got those kids up there, right?
yeah, before you go to jail.
So he's decided that the kids have to go with him. They have to go back to, I think it was Cleveland or Cincinnati.
I'm not sure where. You might be right.
I think
yeah.
Cincinnati or Cleveland or something. Some shithole.
Those great towns.
Yeah. So he goes back downstairs and tells him to pack and goes downstairs, and the people are all frantic down there, and the whole time there's all this stuff that's broke at this restaurant bar / whatever, all the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And Schneider keeps saying like, why don't you get somebody to fix this? And she's like, well, I don't, it costs money. There's no way to fix it. I think this place would do really good if the stuff.
She's telling me I barely make ends meet like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's already they already know that he fixes stuff. He fixed the pinball machine at the beginning of the show.
Okay, he's
He was
he's
the
handy.
he was the maintenance man in the building for the series one day
Oh,
at a
yeah.
time.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, convenient. They need a handyman to help out so they
Right.
can help raise these children. And
You're writing it.
You
I figured it all out now. See, I didn't have to watch it. I get
No.
it. I get it.
So-
It's not hard to figure out this show. It's pretty on the nose.
So the next scene is they're having a going away party for the children,
Cake, ice cream, balloons.
Yeah,
right?
and all the characters bring a present for each one of the kids.
Even the mime.
Even the mime brings a fake, like a fake present. I mean, well,
You know what's funny is he mimes a present, like he's handing a present to the daughter Lori. Lori turns and hands it to Corey Feldman's character Keith, and Keith hands it to his uncle Schneider. And so they're all handing this box.
you know what he says?
Yeah, you please say it.
Can you please put this in the pedicab?
And after that, he said Schneider's trying to be a smartass.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, it's not wrapped very well." And Corey Feldman says, "It's tough to wrap love." And I thought this is like, as soon as he said it, I was like, the audience is gonna love this.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be uproarious laughter.
Yeah.
Not one laugh.
Not one.
It was meant to be a serious line, but I thought the audience was gonna explode with that
Right.
line.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And one of the guys makes a Hitler joke about
His mustache.
His mustache.
Yeah.
And then Jackie, during this, they're getting ready to leave, blah, blah, blah. He's got to get going. And she's like, hey, what if I offered you a job? Just like you said. Fix this place up.
She said, "My kingdom for a maintenance man."
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So, and he, and all the characters kind of pitch in of why they think he should stay. And he's like, no, and you're not, you're just trying to tell me what to do, which he, at the end of this, he gets very cranky and does not like women telling him what to do. And I'm sure that was, part of his character.
He was probably a misogynist.
Right. But I was just like, whoa, I said, this is a weird time to bring it up when,
Yeah.
So he's like, well, they're like, just leave the kids here. You go get your stuff, basically. And he's like, I'll leave the kids here while I go. But that's because I wanted to, not because you told me to.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is really super weird. He's back at his apartment by himself. And it's just
in his normal maintenance man outfit.
Yeah, and it's just his inner monologue as he's kind of like on the couch, like thinking, but he's not talking out loud. So, and he talks to himself. He says, "Oh, what should I do? What should I do? Oh, everybody's gone. There's nobody here anymore. Okay, I'm gonna go down there." Basically,
Yep.
Calls Jackie on the phone.
decides it.
Calls Jackie on the phone and says, "I'm coming down."
I think it was played off pretty funny, but like I think internally, if you really had spent these 8 years with the cast of One Day at a Time, and those characters really had a loving relationship, like a family,
Yeah.
and they're all gone now. Like,
Sure.
I mean,
You'd feel lost.
again. Yeah, you could play it off. They played it
Yeah.
off more silly, but they could have had a real moment there where he's like,
I think they were.
There's the moment, not the stupid love. You can't rap love. That's the heartstring moment.
he's like, what
they
do I
missed.
really have left
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
What am I?
Yeah.
What am I really doing? Fixing the
Right.
same old fucking light switches for
Right.
the next until they throw me in the ground?
Right.
These kids need me.
Right.
So there is something there that you're right. They may have kind of missed the
Yeah.
mark on the heartfelt moment.
I think it was a heartfelt, and then at the end it got some jokes at the end. I think they heartfelted it, and then they like up at the end. Ding dong.
Please remain seated.
Thank you
as
for
we are
carrying
now
that
following a
segment.
zone of turbulence.
Hey, that's why my back hurts today, because I just knew I was going to have to carry it.
Don't forget the stretch. Why did this show work, Blake?
I think that personally, the show One Day at a Time, it was on its, it had its run. It had been on for a long time. I don't think that Schneider was, although he was a beloved sidekick character, he couldn't carry a show on his own, I don't think.
Yeah, this woman that owned the bar, she wasn't somebody that was immediately drew you in, because I mean that's the character. It sounds like would have to kind of draw you in.
She was
is them
yeah.
in the cast of characters in the bar, kind of like Cheers.
She was. I would say she
right?
she did a pretty good job of inserting herself and taking a lead in it.
She was about the same age as Schneider. She would have been the obvious love interest as time went
Okay.
on. But you had another guy. You had like another mustachioed muscle man, like a young guy, big muscle man. You had an older fella in like a cheap suit who was like a locksmith.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
the cute young girl on the petty bike. You had the mime for whatever fucking reason. There's a mime there, and that may have been everyone. Oh, you had the madam with the crystal ball. It's a real bizarre group of people. Almost too bizarre. Like there's some would say how bizarre. What,
I think I was going to say it, but I was yawning. But I don't think that like really. There was no other like actors on here that were recognizable either. So
Corey Feldman wasn't
Yeah.
a name yet. This
No.
is
No.
right before. Like
Before
he could have
Lost
maybe
Boys
made
and-
This might have been right about the time that he made
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th Part 4. This is early 80s, you know.
Yeah.
This is,
We're very close. 84, yeah.
So honestly, this could have been a thing where, like, if this
That is-
show took off, he may have not been available for some.
But if you're watching how
84 would have been, because I think that Friday the 13th, I think the original was 83.
80 or
82.
81,
No,
I
that's
thought.
right. The original. Yeah, that's right. So then by that time, because Nightmare on Elm Street's original is 84.
I think that's right. I think the first Friday
So
the
it was
13th
like
was
4
80
years.
because I think it's the only movie that my parents went to as a couple before he knocked her up.
Oh,
with me.
that's adorable.
Yeah.
That's
My
precious.
dad's not known to go to movies either. It's a real weird fucking story.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely in that movie, and The Goonies was all right around
Yeah.
that time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but nobody was really carrying this show at all. Like when we
It
watched.
would have been on Schneider's shoulders, right?
Yeah, and he, he's got that pack of cigarettes. You don't want to smush those.
Blake. Oh, Lord.
I love it when Blake comes up with like half-cooked jokes.
Yeah.
The best part is when he's immediately disappointed in himself, even though no one said anything negative to him. He's self-defeating that way.
He knows the minute it comes out of his mouth that it wasn't
Some
good.
people say, well, there's a show about failed TV pilots. No, it's not. It's a psychological breakdown of one Blake Clayton. Right?
I think all my podcasts over the years have just been a chronological,
A slow deterioration.
Self-serving,
Yeah.
presentation.
ultimate death. Like how I've got to get that episode uploaded when I die at the end. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's exactly right. I should note too. We're talking how Brian and I went to go see The Thing in theaters, and for the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who was the caretaker of the dogs. I don't know if you remember that character.
Oh, sure.
He was a regular in a couple seasons of One Day at a Time.
Huh.
I think he
Wow.
played Bonnie Franklin's divorced husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's a
That is a nice
interesting fact.
connection.
If this had gone forward, hopefully there would have been a few changes in the cast of the barflies downstairs because some of them just did not fit. Why is there a fucking mime there?
Yeah,
Right?
that's
What are
that's
you going
weird.
to add every episode? Are you going to come in with one stupid fucking joke like you're pulling a goddamn rope? I don't want to see that fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Right. Or opening a door. Or just
Yeah, we don't need to see that. Come on.
I think the real story there is like you might be a mime, but like why isn't it the mime talking about like the experiences of miming all day?
Well, I know
you know what I mean. Like you're off duty now. It should be off duty mime.
Well,
who is
okay,
sharing like the insanity that at the bar of what his day was. Like
I
I
can-
think that's a better concept.
I can explain why he's there. Because they're on a boardwalk.
Sure.
And that's probably his job is to be a mime on the boardwalk, and this is his favorite hangout. But you're right.
Yeah.
Once you come in to have lunch, just fucking talk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say neither of you
It's a lifestyle.
have ever
yes,
mimed.
I know it's a lifestyle.
Well, no, if you haven't mimed, and neither have I, I'm not saying I have, but is there a code of miming that when the makeup is on, you're fucking silent?
oh, maybe.
It could be.
Because
Could be a code.
So
yeah.
if he comes in, he needs to either go wash off
Wash
that
his
fucking
face.
oil-based paint off his
Yeah.
face so he can start chatting it up, or
Yeah.
he's got to shut the fuck up because
Right.
he's a mime and he's abiding by the mime code.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Either way, it's maybe
Right.
a step or too much thinking into this fucking
yes,
show.
exactly. That's it.
Why do you think it didn't work?
Oh
Jason?
golly, I don't know. 8 seasons of a show.
It lived its life.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are very few examples of things that truly excel as spin-offs. The greatest example is probably Cheers to Frasier.
Yes, Cheers to
Seriously,
Frasier,
I think Cheers went 11 seasons, which is virtually unprecedented as a sitcom.
And then
Frasier,
Frasier's 8?
I think Frasier was 10. I think Frasier was
that's
as many
incredible.
seasons as Friends. I think
Yeah.
Friends went 10 seasons.
Yep.
And it's fucking incredible.
That is incredible.
What's his Kelsey Grammer played that character for like 20 some years. It's insane.
That is nuts.
I don't know that there's a lot of juice. I don't think people are like, hey, what is
But it was that dad.
What's Snyder up to?
Schneider went to Florida for a while. What happened there?
But I do think it's the dad on that show. I think that he's really the piece of Frasier. It's odd, right? Because
The old
yeah,
dad,
his dad.
John Maloney.
his
I think
character
he's
in
passed
that
away.
in that show that really kind of helps.
Oh, the supporting characters are great.
That's it. And the girl,
David, what's David
David
Hyde
Hyde Pierce,
He's
his
great.
brother,
He's fantastic.
and
yeah.
then the girl, what is she, the secretary or
Well,
something? She
there's-
begin off with.
There's Ross at the station, and the British lady.
Yeah, the
right?
British lady.
Yeah,
that worked for them or worked for him. Or
Yeah.
For the
something, right?
dad.
Yeah.
Took care of the dad.
Yeah.
They had a great supporting cast.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have a great.
That's
No, we
it.
don't.
I think
We don't.
that's the problem.
It's pretty weak here on Schneider, and Schneider maybe cannot carry.
You got to pull in some bigger names. Like they pulled in the dad, like
Yeah,
for
and Feldman's
Frasier.
not a name then.
Yeah, no.
Did America fall in love with Corey Feldman later? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we weren't quite there then.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables.
Did you hear the new
are
Corey
full
Feldman,
of
The
our
Angels
position.
album, Amanda?
I saw him on the Today Show. When he performed on the Today Show. I also watched. I think there was either a reality. I think it was just a one episode thing on MTV.
Like a failed pilot?
Kind of like a failed pilot of Corey Feldman watching or like at the pool and all these rules and signing the contracts and stuff like that because they have like some weird contractual, like you can only eat fruit. These angels, they only eat fruit.
Oh, so he's got like a heavy rider
Yeah,
when they
it's-
arrive places.
Yeah, it's gross. It's really weird. It's kind of like the Playboy bunnies and
So
weird,
you
weird
think
things.
he's grooming these angels?
Oh, he totally was. Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking
so
weird.
gross. It was so gross. Yeah, and they're all like 20-year-olds, like
Good, hey, good for you and gross.
and they can only wear lingeries in the house. So they only eat fruit. They only wear lingerie.
Oh, so the show would be set up as they all live together?
Yes, and that was it.
Oh.
You were watching like whatever episode I watched was at his house and you saw these girls
They
living
lived
with him.
him.
Yes.
So he had a harem of
Yes.
young women eating fruit, wearing lingerie and wings.
Yes. 100%.
Not chicken wings, but like
it's
wearing
real weird. It was real weird.
Were their wings both the same, both same size?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they were.
All right, thank you.
They
I just
were,
need-
My
they
wings
were
are,
they were manufactured. They weren't.
Oh,
like,
okay. They were all natural.
all natural.
My wings
is
are
always
32B.
different.
I don't know
I was gonna say, if you had wings made for you, they would be equal.
Throw a little chicken cutlet on that one.
They would be equal.
Oh my god. Final Descent. We take a look at what people from around the world had to say about Another Man's Shoes. There are ratings on that. Surprising amount of ratings for something like this. Blake, scale of 1 to 10 from IMDb.com, and it's impossible to say what IMDb stands for. But
You want me to try though?
if you would want to hazard a guess, please.
Inappropriate muscular disability at birth.
Okay,
That was the worst of all of
That
them.
could be it.
The best one on that list was IMDb stands for I might dislike Blake. I think that's the best one.
I think that is the best one. That is the best one. In one fell swoop, not only telling us what IMDb stands for, but possibly capturing everyone's ideas of you in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a twofer. It's a classic twofer.
I would say on IMDb it was probably 4.3.
It's a 7.6.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
From 107 ratings.
fuck up.
The only review I could find was it's a 6 out of 10 scars. It's a wacky, is what they say. Wacky.
Wacky.
This is from J.J. Stone back in May 31st.
Is that your friend? No,
That's my phone, J.J. The guy that we interviewed? Yeah. No,
darn it.
I wish it was. This is May 31st, 2021, and all J.J. Stone says is a very odd and wacky, humorous way to end the series. And while he was concise and to the point, I would say he's probably kind of right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
A
sense.
popular series ending in a spinoff is bizarre.
I do feel like that if I had watched this show forever and this is how it ended and I didn't get the spinoff, there would be like this,
Like
weird.
what, yeah.
Fire in the streets.
Yeah, like what in the hell?
Expensive fireworks in the streets.
Yeah. Really expensive.
But I think in the episode before this, you did get some resolution. Valerie Bertinelli pops in for 30 Mississippi right up front.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is like, oh, this isn't one day at a time. This is some fucking weird thing.
Yeah.
Some weird cancerous growth here at the end of the... What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you going to do?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort,
69 we thought was a funny number. Because you know what it means, right? If someone says 69.
Yeah, it's on the front of the dash of the plane. There is all the dials are numbered, and
Right.
that's the one that's directly in the center of. So we always know, like, head this way. That's how you try to keep that.
We always say head towards 69.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of become our mantra.
Yeah.
It's like a compass is usually north-south.
Well,
Well,
that's what people on the ground always say to us.
Yeah, there is no north, south, east, and west up in here.
Yeah, when you're up in the air,
it's all
only,
about numbers.
It's only 6 and it's only 9. Hey, this is the part of the show where we grade the pilot in question, and we do so based on a scale we've created. It's from the television show accurately and affectionately known as Wings. We look at all the characters from that show, and we assign them numbers. 1, that's the worst score you get, and that's the character that goes by the name of Roy Biggins. 7 is the best score you can get, and that's a fella that goes by the name of Brian Hackett. Do we look towards Amanda at all? We probably should, right?
Oh yeah, she should
Listen,
still.
I always have an opinion.
Right.
I might not have watched it, but I always have an
let's
opinion.
start there. Amanda,
Yeah,
based
man.
on everything you heard,
I know, right?
how would you rate Another Man's Shoes?
I'm gonna go 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just feel like just from how you guys have sold it to me, that I really just can't get in. I can't get into these other characters, and I think it is kind of odd that they put this as like the final episode of the series. So that kind of plays into my count there.
Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. Another Man's Shoe.
I'm going to give it a 2 as well. It was just kind of lame, and I think the reason why they made it the last episode was, hey, we did all these, we've already filmed it, we want to put it in the same time slot so we can try to get the viewers to come with it. That's probably why they did it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a 2. It's just corny. It was just I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't like it.
Or they couldn't have aired it otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
basically,
but back then they if they filmed it, they aired it.
That is true sometimes.
For the most part.
Some of the ones that we talk about, though, are things that are just floating around the internet that were never aired. Someone leaked them. Somehow they got out there, and they were just never put on TV.
do they still do? So they used to do that, like fall preview stuff, right? Where you would actually you could see pilots of episodes, and then sometimes those pilots never did come out. You remember those?
Yeah, we used to
Back in
on
the day,
TV?
like when we were, like it was the 90s.
Do you happen to have an example of that or not?
I do not have.
Would
an
you remember
example,
that black
but-
couple that would introduce someone and then you could like call in if you liked
That
it?
was from CBS Summer Playhouse. And
but still.
that's this summer we're doing the summer of spinoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last summer was the summer of CBS Summer Playhouse, and it was
Okay.
funny because the word summer was in there twice. But that was basically a program that CBS would air during the summer, and they would once a week or so they'd show 1 or 2 failed pilots, and
Okay.
they had 3 seasons of this, and we just
But they were failed pilots. So
Yeah.
what I was talking about was just like it was like this coming seasons, like these are the upcoming shows.
and
It was kind
sometimes
of a
they would never come
premiere.
out though. You said too.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. So it was before, the internet era of kind of presenting that info to people that way. I feel like it was a show that was on like prime time, kind of, and it would be like this introduction to the fall TV shows.
Do you have any remembrances of that?
No.
I have a vague one.
something? Yeah.
And I believe it was an NBC one.
Yeah, that probably seems legit to me. NBC.
Oh, man, my memory is so. It's okay. It was NBC or ABC because I feel like either it was like some of the kids from Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Were like hosting it and talking about
maybe.
stuff coming out.
Maybe.
Or maybe it was like Urkel. That
Yeah,
was
could have
doing
been.
it.
Could have been. That was ABC. Yeah.
I have a very vague memory of seeing. I bet it was
TGIF
NBC because I think
people?
Dustin Diamond was on who played
Okay.
Screech. I think it was that, but yeah, it was like basically saying here's some upcoming stuff, and
Yeah.
they were like hanging out with like Brandon Tartikoff or something. It's like it's a really fucking weird. Brandon Tartikoff used to
Yeah.
run NBC. It's a very bizarre
Yeah.
thing, but yeah, I have a vague recollection of that.
Yeah, I remember weird stuff like that I don't have any like. It was like I loved the Disney Saturday movies
Yes,
or
family
Sunday
movies,
night
yeah.
Sunday night movies. They
We've
were
covered
Sunday,
some
right?
of those on here too.
Yeah, and I remember just describing them to people because I was like, I just remember watching this and I know it existed, but I don't know what it was called, and I can remember these weird
Super
like
bizarre.
stills out of it. But it was Mr. Boogedy.
Do you? That was one.
The one. It was one of my favorites.
Do you remember the one that we watched with Dustin twice?
Fuzz Bucket.
Yeah. Do you remember Fuzz Bucket?
No.
Live
That's
action.
weird as fuck. man.
Little
Okay.
boy interacting with a little fuzzy creature.
That was from the woods in the
Yeah.
in the gutters.
It's very-
I'm sure I watched it. My mom was big into that Disney.
She loved the tradition of it.
Yeah, the weekly family sit down.
The
watch
ceremonial.
Yes. Stupid.
But it was
Michael Eisner introducing them always.
Yes,
Yes,
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Fuzz Bucket. It was very Ewok in nature, though.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure if I saw a picture of it, I've seen it.
And I hope your interaction with it ends there because you don't need to watch.
Don't
it.
need to
No.
rewatch
Blake
it.
had to watch it twice.
Mr. Boogedy and Brad and Mr. Boogedy are on Disney Plus.
I've heard of Mr. Boogedy. I know
It
that
was
he
my favorite as a kid,
Very interesting.
which is weird.
I will give this a 3, and I tell you why. Because a lot of these spinoffs that we talk about, it's like, hey, season 3 rolls around. Let's middle of the season. Let's pop off a spinoff. That might be interesting. If not,
Yeah.
just it is weird to end a series this way. But if you are sad that your series is gone, there is hope that it will continue in this format.
Yeah.
And maybe Bonnie Franklin comes back from London with her husband, and she gets a guest appearance. Or maybe Valerie Bertinelli comes in with her new rock and roll husband, and we get to see him blow some riffs there on the Florida boardwalk. We don't know.
Yeah.
The possibilities are fun and entertaining, but the supporting cast was weak. And the premise is it's kind of the transverse, right? Where it's like Bonnie Franklin was a divorced lady with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Now we got a guy
Yeah.
with 2 kids. The obviously Another Man's Shoes is a reference to his taking in for his brother. Taking over his brother's position in life by raising these kids. There's something here.
Yeah.
I just do not think it was executed very well. So with my score of a 3 and both of your guys' score of a 2, we shall close the book on Another Man's Shoes, and we will never mention that show again.
Yeah.
But join us next time, won't you please, as we continue on the summer of spinoffs as we watch the pilot episode of Mona from Who's the Boss. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Mona goes to visit her brother who bought an old hotel. There's more, but what else do you really need to say beyond that?
Yes.
And he also used money that's hers, which is a very poor descriptive part of this summary. And she discovers that the place is a money pit. All right. You can find the entire episode of Mona by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes or download the app for Daily Motion. Blake.
God damn it.
Yeah, that seems to be the response to that. Who's the Boss? We all watched Who's the Boss, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Los
Big
Milano.
fan. Yeah.
I know you didn't really get into it very much. The show Community, right? You kind of stopped at a certain point.
Well, Eli, I mean, I've watched them all because Eli.
Oh, you watched them all?
Yeah, I have to have watched them all. I just didn't like that when they would do weird ones. Like they would sometimes they would do
like when they did the Dungeons and Dragons, like
That's
role
that's
play, like
a great episode.
LARPing. You know.
Yeah, and sometimes they kind of. There was like one season I felt like they were just like doing the oddest stuff.
One season, the creator of the show was not there, and that was the season that suffered the most. I think it
Okay.
was season
No,
4.
but I think we watched it all the way through.
Well, Lithgow was kind of troublesome, wasn't he? Or something.
You mean Chevy Chase?
Or Chevy Chase?
Yes.
That was it.
Yes,
Sorry,
yeah,
he wasn't Lithgow, and that was Chevy
Yeah.
Chase.
Did
yeah.
you watch
Community?
Yeah.
We did. I think that I might have jumped off somewhere, and Brian was watching it.
There's an episode about who's the boss, which I think is very funny. But it's interesting that the oldest character on that show, and when you watch it, and when you're a kid, you're like, Jesus Christ, Mona's 85 years old. You probably look it up, and she's like 52. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Right,
just
right.
stuff like that.
Right.
But still, the oldest character on the show has got her own spinoff coming out.
Yeah,
I'm excited for
looking
that.
forward to it.
That's fun.
If people wanted to contact us, and like you were screaming into a void,
Yeah.
of no one contacting us, what would that look like?
CouchPilotspodcast.com. It's a one-stop shop. You can hear every episode. You can email us. You can go to our Patreon from there. Yeah, that's the only place you need to go.
That's all you need to know. Amanda, we do want to thank you again for joining us. I hope you had a good time.
I always have a great time. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, thank you for coming.
We love talking to you. You're always so cheerful and positive, and for someone like Blake who's just completely given up on almost every aspect of his life, I think
It's not a lie. I mean, it's not a bad description.
I'm cheerful and positive and bring the real. Like
No.
I will also just tell you when
You gave me 4 hours of feeling better.
Yeah.
You did. So.
in amongst the yawning and crying that Blake's been doing the last 2 weeks.
Well, one begets the other. With the yawn comes the tears, right?
Yeah, whenever I yawn, I cry.
I feel like that's a country song, right?
Whenever I yawn, I cry. Whenever I live, I die.
It really is that easy to be a pop country star, right?
Oh, that's not even pop. Pop would be like, and my kids went outside to play, and I said, fuck you. There's one girl now that has a song about how big her thighs are, and it's like a big, huge. And she's like, "This is an anthem. You can be,
thick thigh ladies.
Yeah.
Like that's always the apple bottom jeans. I mean, like any of these things, like women are like,
who can I pander to that will buy this record?
Damn straight.
Oh yeah,
Women with a few extra pounds.
yeah.
I don't really talk about it a lot on this show, but I do a couple other podcasts. One's called Radio Rewind, where we talk about the top 10 music on charts. And we were getting into Pink because it was from years
yeah.
ago. And I feel the same way about Pink. I felt like she pandered to people.
Oh, yeah.
I,
For sure.
I like Pink.
Groups.
I don't love her music, but I like her. I think she's a talented person. But I feel like in those early days, she super just pandered to women. And I don't like that. I think people ultimately are smarter than that. And you're right. It sounds like she's pandering to a group too of like, hey ladies, you got some big old thighs. Listen to this.
Right.
You know?
Well, and you realize like after you watch some like behind the scenes, like I've watched a few like MTV's had a few like Pink like behind the scenes things, but she'll talk about how much the studios controlled like those first couple years of of her, and I think that's where that stuff comes from.
You are not a person. You
from
are an investment.
That's
Right,
it.
yeah.
It's some man at the top of some corporate thing saying this is what the people want, and that's getting pushed upon them, which rightfully so skyrockets them to fame. But hopefully they realize that that's not going to keep them there.
There's that old adage in Hollywood, for the people that are really famous, one for me, one for them.
Yeah.
I'll make a shitty Hollywood movie that you want me to make, and then I get to kind of do an
gonna-
independent one that I really like. But there's a song by Pink called "Don't Let Me Get Me," and I don't like the song. But in the song, there is a verse where she talks about exactly a very specific person, in fact, in the music industry who is trying to shape her to do the things they want her to do.
Yeah.
So it's funny that that has come up. But yeah, the pandering aspect of that I do not like.
Yeah.
Listen to Challenged.
Yes.
When can people hear that? Because sometimes it's 2 episodes a week, depending on what's happening, right?
No, right. Well, I can't remember if it's going to be Thursdays. I think the new CBS. No, I don't think it's going to be Thursdays because that's when Big Brother airs. So I think it's Wednesdays, the same as the regular season. So we should be recording live when they air. But I've also heard that it's going to air after Big Brother, which will put it being way late to record. So there's also been talk of recording on the weekend. So, but the best place to find all that information is to head over to challengepod.com. Go join the Facebook group. So that's where Brian posts all the updates about when we're recording, when you can join live, if you wanted to join live and listen and comment along with the podcast. So, head over to challengepod.com or check us out on Facebook.
I've been there for a couple episodes, and the most recent one I did was when it was freezing cold outside.
Yes.
And there were people active who had just watched the show, and they were excited for you to record, and they were interacting with you live at that time. I remember
cool.
it was an engaged
cool
community.
aspect, yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool.
So, I'm interested to see how the CBS show and the time it airs and kind of that's always been our thing with All Stars too. So All Stars is released on Paramount Plus at like a midnight, so it's not doesn't have like a live
an actual
time.
air date that you want to follow up immediately on.
That people would be watching it live with you kind of thing. And with the time slot that it's going to get, not sure how it's going to work. So, we hope that we can kind of keep that same feel
but if you go to your
about
favorite
watching it
podcast
together.
app, you type in Challenge, you find them,
Yeah.
you can follow, subscribe, and then it automatically pops in the feed when you guys do it.
Yeah, but if you want it to be live,
But
check out the Facebook group.
Check out the Facebook
That's where
page
it's
too,
at.
for sure.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, thanks,
again.
guys.
Blake, you said you had some stuff at the end of each show that you wanted to
Yeah, I'm
do,
just going
right?
to start reading my show notes off. It's kind of a...
You created during the show. Why not give us that content?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So we have summer spinoff again, Challenge, CT, The Thing.
JT Lavin.
I wrote CT.
No, it's all wrong.
That's the one she said to put. No. Stand-up comedians, reality TV, 1984, voting, Olympics, bathroom, etiquette, Captain Caveman, and fireworks.
If someone came up to me and I didn't know who they were, and they looked me right in the eye and they said all those things to me, I said, whatever you say, I will follow you. I am interested in those things, and I don't know what format those are coming at me, but I want to be a part of it.
You say that, I say the opposite.
To me, it's just
I'm like, excuse
it's
me.
just so funny how like all over the place it is. I've always found them to be kind of because I don't look at them again for like a week or so when I go to do the show notes. And I'm like,
What?
I-
We
there's-
talked about what?
There are times I'm like, what the fuck was this? Then sometimes I can't read my writing.
Because he had too much ice cream. Hey, everyone. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.